first thing you'll need to make sure is that the buckets you're using are clean. I use a sponge to do this, or even a scourer works better, and obviously you'll need a lot of water to wash them with. Making sure that your horse's buckets are clean before you feed them is really important, because some remaining old food in the bucket can taste sour, which can be bad for picky eaters and put them off their food, and obviously it can go mouldy if left for long periods of time. Having clean buckets also prevents any cross-contamination of other foods that other horses might be eating, or any other supplements or medication that other horses might have that could actually be quite dangerous if your buckets aren't cleaned.
Feed little but often. Horses are trickle feeders and have a very small stomach, around the size of a rugby ball, so they continuously need to be eating roughage to aid with digestion. So horses shouldn't be left any longer than a couple of hours without any food. That's why I prefer to keep my horses in the field, because it's so beneficial for them. Roughage like hay, grass and chaff is really important in your horse's diet. This is because it aids digestion, and it also is a really important source of fibre, and it also helps to grind down your horse's teeth. And at the least, 50% of your horse's diet should contain roughage. When feeding substrates like grain, you should always feed it with some sort of roughage, like chaff. Especially if your horse bolts down its food, as it makes it chew it properly and prevents choking. If you do decide to feed substrates like grain, you need to feed according to work. If a horse is in hard work, you need to make sure that you're feeding it some sort of substrate. This gives it energy that it cannot obtain from things like grasses or hay, especially in the winter when grasses do not have as much sugar, and this needs to be maintained for their balance of work so they can carry on working at the performance that they are at. A horse in medium work still needs some sort of substrate, but probably not as high energy level as a horse in hard work, as they are probably only ridden a few times a week. A horse in light work is probably only ridden a few times a month, and probably doesn't need any or only a little bit of substrate in its diet, compared to a horse that is in hard work, because they are burning less calories as they are exercising less, so need a lower energy level diet. You should also feed according to size, age, temperature, and living conditions. When feeding, horses must always have water available. This water needs to be clean and kept in a cool, dry place, as the average horse will drink about 18 litres a day, just under 5 gallons. Always feed good quality forage. You want to have hay that is sweet smelling, has no poisonous plants and easily separates. You also want to make sure that it has no dust in it as well. Your grain should always be kept in somewhere that will keep it dry and cool, and make sure that no pests can get to it and nothing can contaminate it, and also that it's good quality. Feed at the same time each day. Horses are animals of habit and like to have things done at the same time each day. Due to the size of their stomachs, it's also better to give them 2 small dinners rather than 1 big one. Never feed straight before exercise or straight after exercise. I would recommend waiting an hour before or an hour after exercise before feeding. This is really important because when your horse is exercising, all the blood is around the horse's muscles in their legs, but when they're eating, the blood needs to be around their stomach, as this helps aid digestion, and if not, this can cause colic. Change feed gradually. This is because the gut bacteria in your horse's stomach is really sensitive, so if you do want to change over the feed, I'd recommend putting a little bit in each day, so then they get used to it over a few weeks before you change them straight over. And finally, feed something succulent each day. As well as fruit and veggies being an essential part of a horse's diet as they contain many vitamins and minerals, it's also really nice to give your horses treats every now and again and spend time with them, which is great for bonding.